Welcome to my YouTube channel where I have testimonies at Live the Life You Deserve Coaching. Today I have a gentleman on. I gave him my three-step process healing, or my three-step healing process a week ago, and he's going to share about where he was at before he reached out to me, the process of what he felt, what he went through, and then days after, a week later, the process after our session that we had today. So thank you, Andrew, for coming on and being willing to give this testimony, because there is so much power behind you sharing your testimony, so it will reach out and connect with others to know what I do is very real, and only in just a matter of 25 minutes to give you that boost in helping your life change your life. So if you want to share about last week when you reached out to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everybody. I'm just going to tell you a little bit of how I was feeling anyway. Life throws you a bunch of curveballs, and sometimes you think you got it, and you really don't. What ends up happening is that you feel like you're at the bottom of the ocean, and all the pressure is just weighing on you. You're screaming inside, and you have no idea what to do. Like, you're really taking your last breath. And I honestly didn't know what I was going to do. I was, about to crack up, I guess you would call it, and I started thinking to myself, I'm like, what can I do? Who can I talk to? How can I relieve some of the stress and tension and deal with some of the things I'm going through in a more positive manner? Anyway, I follow Jeff on Facebook, and I know he does coaching and healing. So I reached out to him. It was a move that I needed to take. I had to open up and do something, not a big tough guy and need to deal with things. So that's exactly what I did. Reached out to Jeff, and he was more than willing to help me. Later that night, actually, we took action pretty quick. So later that night, he called me, and we started the healing. And throughout that healing, you gotta be willing, open your heart, mind, soul, everything. You gotta be really accepting to get help. You really want it. So through the process, while I was laying there, I just, I felt a sense of peace. I felt my anger, frustration immediately go. It's like I could almost take a breath again. And the sense of weightlessness or the sense of being, peace, I guess you could call it as well. It made me really know that there was something there, or something was happening. And honestly, it was just like he reached down to the bottom of that ocean and pulled me up to where I was still treading water. I felt safe then. Honestly, I felt like I could actually think and do things for myself again in a more positive manner. So anyway, I actually really, really felt it the very next morning. There was none of that tension, anger. There was the stress was virtually gone. I knew I still had to deal with the problems I was dealing with, but now I was able to actually think of it in a more positive, controlling manner. It wasn't too heavy. I could breathe again. You got to pull yourself out of the ocean, but I mean, he helped me get to the top. So yeah, it was a big help. Jeff has got a true gift. I thank you once again. Without that, I really probably would have cracked up. So I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. And it truly takes a big, tough man to reach out and ask for help.
Yes.
We're always taught, or as boys, where it's put in our head, you're weak. If you reach out, you're weak, and that's why the suicide rates are 2/3 are men, because most men are afraid to reach out, because then you seem like you're weak. And it's the complete opposite. The strength and the tough guys really reach out for help, because like you did yourself, you were able to get yourself out of that deep part of the ocean, as you put it, to not be drowning anymore.
That's right.
So yeah, no, that's awesome. And then a bit about myself for people who are watching, if they're new on seeing the video on YouTube. I had a death experience about 2 years ago, and it was from trying to commit suicide. The last time I tried to commit suicide, with fully going through with it, and coming back to my body, I physically can see spirits around me all the time. I've grown in ways I can't even put into words with my connection with these high-level being spirits that have been teaching me, to give me the abilities and gifts that I do have today that I continue to keep working hard at, so I can give back to, like yourself, Adrian, to have this connection of the divine, where we come from, that light. We can all actually learn and grow with it if you choose to, and it will transform our life. And then to use it, and then in a way to give back to people, it's so powerful. So I was going to read a little bit about myself with the process. Now, this process that I've done with you, I've went through it as well. Everything I do in life, it's because I went through this process and it's changed my life. It's not something I'm just thinking up of trying. Like me helping you, I've been teaching you, and these high-level spirits that actually give us access to come in and live our life, they're called the High Council. Throughout time, they taught me how to overcome self-sabotaging, which I did last summer. They also taught me on overcoming severe depression. So I don't even need medications for it no more. So in that 3-step process with what I do, because I've been healed, we can all be healed through our spiritual bodies, energetic bodies. We can all be healed through that. So because they shown me and it changed my life, I put a 3-step process together. The first thing I do is removing, because throughout your life, did you have troubles with, addictions and fears and depression? Did you go through any of those phases throughout your life?
Oh yeah, as childhood, or in my childhood, I went through, bullying. I went through in my 20s addiction, all that kind of stuff.
So what happens when we go through that, before we actually, when we go to pass on, if you look at yourself and judge yourself in a negative way, and you put yourself in that vibration of depression, anger, fear, you actually do not leave from this earth and go to the light. You stay here. So when you're going through those times in your life, those same spirits, the vibration that are stuck here, they feed off of your energy. So because of my severe depression, I'm able, because I can physically see, and what they've taught me, I can remove these spirits and actually teach them to forgive themselves. And they do, and they go to the light. So I remove these negative attachments by sending them back home, basically. I'm able to help them go back home. So that's the first thing I do when I helped you, was removing these attachments that were attached to you. I forget how many you had. I'm not sure if I told you it or not.
I think you said there was 80.
Okay, that rings a bell, yeah. So you had 80 that have been attached to you, that keep you in that negative place. So when you're dealing with things in life that are causing you stress, they feed off of that, and they bring you down deep into that ocean that you were feeling. Absolutely. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing that I did, is I removed them. The second step, hey?
I was going to say, I when I first got your phone call there, I was feeling a little better at that point too, so that must have been that,
Yeah, because they're no longer a part of you. You can handle life a lot. It's a lot easier. What my purpose is removing darkness from people and bringing in the light. So now you're living more in the light, and you're not living in that darkness that you were once living in. The second gift I have, and I do it on my business page, which is going across on the banner here. I do healing sessions, and these are free for people, because I'd rather you try this, what I do, for free, because it's actually been healing people emotionally, physically, mentally, stopping people on addictions. It's been removing that just for my healing. But I put you in a state of a meditation when we did that for 10 minutes, so people know. And you're laying there and you're feeling the energy, and you're being cleansed from the darkness, and the light is coming through you from me to you. And at the end of it, this is how I overcame self-sabotaging, because I had self-sabotaging issues for 22 years of food, putting on 30 pounds within 4 days, 5 days from overeating. And it was like that for the last 20 years of my life, every month, back and forth, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight. So this stemmed from, and again, this was taught to me from the High Council, bad karma from past lives that we carry on to this life, and the things you can't forgive yourself in this life for, it makes us self-sabotage, or at least for me. And what I do when we are at the end of our session, I get people to repeat to themselves, I'm now going to release bad karma from past lives in this life, because I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to forgive myself because I did not have the tools or knowledge at that time when I made those mistakes. Since making those mistakes You learned and you grew from it. That is our soul's evolution, learning and growing and evolving. So now you have the tools and the knowledge to know more, because you would do things differently. You wouldn't do the same things you did when you made those mistakes. So I get people to do this while I'm having them connecting to them, to their inner spirit, because when you're feeling that lightness in your body, that is you truly feeling your spirit, your energetic body that's floating, that's sitting inside your body. And that's what that feeling is from. So that part helps as well in releasing, which is what I was going to read here as well. Come on now. I put my airplane mode on because I wanted to read exactly as well before we log off here. Shoot, I got to scroll down for 1 sec. Okay, here we go. This is what I do. Okay, so what I have here is, for myself being a divine light worker and healer, this is what to expect from my 3-step process in helping each person that sets up a session with me, as this knowledge was given to me from the highest level of light being spirits. I will bring more light into your life, all within 25 minutes of a phone call session, while removing the things that are holding you back in life. What I help people do is release that bad karma from past lives in this life, and releasing negative attachments that are holding you back in life. And yeah, what's the first thing you said to me? You feel lighter. Everyone says that to me right away. They feel lighter. It's because my purpose now in life, I'm living my purpose, and I want to help others live their purpose as well, with my coaching, because even with our coaching, because I throw my coaching in with it as well. You are struggling with a situation in a relationship, like we all do. And with my coaching and the knowledge I've gained over the years, I've spent 22 years going to therapy off and on, but I've gained a lot of healthy knowledge on how to treat situations. So I put that into my life coaching. And, when we talked about that one situation, how did that change your life just from the life coaching in a situation you were going through? Like since trying and reaching out to the other person, like how was that for you?
No, it actually it made me stop and realize exactly what was happening, honestly. It made me look at it at a different perspective, in a more healthy manner. Like I wasn't upset, I wasn't angry, I wasn't just offended all the time. It was more dealing with it from a state of peace, and love and happiness, instead of immediately like getting angry because everything was weighing on my shoulders.
Not reacting right away with emotions and thinking.
That's exactly.
And the big thing in life, and like when I was doing my other podcast on my Facebook page today, is getting different perspectives in a healthy manner. Mm-hmm. When we're taught from other people in a healthy manner of a new perspective, we can then change your life to then follow that. When you see the outcome, look at the outcome now after you reached out to that person you're struggling with, and then look at the outcome, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I've been dealing with for the last pretty much week, but in a more loving manner, honestly.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So,
and that kind of changes tough on people sometimes, because they're used to one way of thinking or feeling, and then when you're able to see it in a different way, you kind of feel vulnerable, and it's people who don't get the healing would see it as a sense of weakness, but it isn't for me. And I'm more open. About how I feel and how to deal with things in a different way, instead of being that's what it is.
Yeah, and then that sense of peace that you feel in your life today. You don't have the anxiety and stresses you did a week ago.
No, it's far from it. It's like night and day. Today was the best day I've had since that healing. I feel 100% great. I still know I have to deal with the situations of my life, but I have direction and a plan today. So.
Yeah.
So that's
everyone that I've done this for so far. I had another female friend. Actually, she reached out to me and she wrote me a month later, and she actually said, it's on my Facebook business page, Live the Life You Deserve Coaching. She wrote, after my session, literally all my fears and guilt have subsided and haven't returned. I've experienced so much personal growth in the time since I've experienced working with Jeff. Mm-hmm. And that's from getting this freedom of the negative attachments and forgiving ourselves and removing this bad karma, because this energy, we're in an evolution of learning. Our consciousness on this earth is raising about energy. We're learning more about energy. So to remove this energy that was a part of us when we were born, it's just, your life is just going to keep getting better and better, right? Which,
absolutely. Yeah, it is. I can feel it every day, honestly. Yeah. It's getting better and better. I just can't wait to pick up tomorrow to see how I feel, you know?
I bet. But then it's like, you know what? Sometimes it's okay. We have our bad days. Things happen, right? It's always going to be like we talked about earlier. You know, when people are, I'm happy, you and me are in a very happy place. We're in a good place. We're happy. But then it's when people are like, I'm happy, I don't need to do no more work.
Yeah.
They stop their true potential of evolving even more with the being of who they are. You and me, as happy as we are, like I said, you're still doing work. I'm still doing work. I'll always keep working to be ahead of myself, right? As I know you and me are the same like that. We're always trying to be 2 steps ahead at evolving and being the best we can be.
That's right. 100%, man. That's the truth.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your testimony about it. I truly appreciate it. And I know the person that does see it that then reaches out to me is going to appreciate it. So thanks so much for your time.
Absolutely. You're welcome. And anybody who watches this, good luck.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.